What's up, you guys? I thought I'd give you a few comments on the 80-10-10 diet a little bit, and just even vegan bodybuilding and vegan fitness in general, because there's so much hate on it, especially in even the strength community, because it just goes against the grain of everything. Talking about having such high carbohydrate consumption, such low protein consumption, such low fat consumption, especially in that paleo community, which is more of a huger push in the strength community. I can only speak for myself and just what I've tried and my experiences with it, but that's what made me want to do this because I was talking to someone the other day and they were so set on what their portion sizes, and this is a grown man telling me, I had structured my everything down to a T. He had 1,800 calories. I'm like, whoa. So what'd you have? I'm like, well, I just had 7 potatoes last night and some vegetables. I think it was more like 4 or 5, but my point was, it was a high carb diet, and it was all found in 80-10-10. I still do have cooked foods at nighttime, but majority of my foods are high sugar from the fructose and the fruit. I do have grains too. I know that's like everything's demonized nowadays, so you can't really consume anything. But this ratio, as far as following the 80-10-10, even with a vegan emphasis too, has worked good for me. I did my benchmarks the other day, and it was still bench number 315. Still deadlifting over close to 400. You're still gonna have your pipes. Nothing changed. Everything was exactly the same. Everyone thinks that as soon as you go vegan, you're just gonna shrink, and your strength's gonna go to hell, and you should just take up running. And that's not the case. I think when you watch like a Durian Rider video, people just straight up hate on it. And I think, for me, someone as an outsider, those videos early on when I was getting into it were motivating because initially I wasn't for that type of thing. And I thought, the worst thing you can do is you try it, and you have to keep an open mind, especially in the health fitness world, especially in health in general. You have to keep an open mind. And the best thing you can do is try it yourself, and then if it doesn't work, you go back to it, something else. So I think it's ignorant to just hate on somebody and not try it yourself. And if you are going to try it, make sure you do it the right way. But I think the biggest thing that people do, especially even the vegan community, there's a lot of different different theories about following this ratio. If you look at Robert Cheek's book, Vegan Bodybuilding, he has a lot of different plans in there. But this book and even his forum, really advocate supplementing. I shouldn't say really advocate, but a lot of people do advocate supplementing with a plant protein powder, and really just following the same dietary habits you would, but having plant-based instead of meat. So honestly, I don't really like the fake tofu type stuff. I'm not big into the powders and things much as I used to be. If anything, you feel like you kind of were had before, because when you start having such less protein than you were having before, and you go to having no protein, not no protein, but just limited quantities of protein you were having before, you really feel that difference. So you just feel like you could lift exactly the same you were before. If you guys got any questions, let me know. I'm just sharing again my 2 cents about it. The biggest thing you gotta do though is you gotta keep lifting, you gotta keep eating. I think those 2 things are the things that get thrown out the window. Whether you're starting out with a small frame, you want to get bigger, you kind of have to get in the gym. You got to do it consistently, and it's going to take some years. Or if you're bigger and you're trying to lose weight, same thing. It's going to take you a few years to get the size and strength you want to get into. But you got to stick with it, and especially if you're jumping into stuff, you're always jumping back and forth. You got to stay with one thing and stick with it. So, when it's definitely possible, you definitely got to eat. Don't be afraid of the carbohydrates. A lot of people, there's all these, the gluten thing, the grain thing, the sugar thing, the salt, the sodium thing. There's so many different theories. So especially, if you want more of an intro, a smooth intro into the 80-10-10 thing, check out Dr. McDougall. His new book, Starch Solution. I have that too. That's an interesting take too, because he doesn't, he actually doesn't blame salt as being, or even sodium as being as big a deal, which conflicts other books. So you just got to read a little bit, experiment a little bit, and check out and see what works for you. But I think the easiest segue is that Dr. McDougall book, Starch Solution. He has other books too, but it's basically 80-10-10, but with cooked foods, and a lot more, I think, variety in some ways, but that's your opinion. Any other questions? Let me know, and I can always talk about more of those books in more detail too. Thanks.